Honorable President, I may be permitted to read some paragraphs in the English version of your address. The rest of the address may be considered as read, as sections of the parliamentary people in the country. Some of them are not familiar, and also there are people who will be also watching what is happening here in the joint session. So I read few paragraphs. Honorable members, I am pleased to address the first joint sitting of Parliament after the elections of the 17th Lok Sabha in the year commemorating the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. I extend my heartiest congratulations to all the newly elected members of this Lok Sabha. More than 61 crore voters of the country set a new record by casting their votes and enhanced the credibility of India's democracy in the world. People have stood in long queues, braving extreme heat to cast their votes. This time, as compared to previous elections, more women have cast their votes and their participation has been almost equal to men. Crores of youth have voted for the first time and played an important role in shaping India's future. All voters deserve to be congratulated for the success of this election. I also convey my best wishes to the new Speaker of the Lok Sabha for this new responsibility. I congratulate the entire team of the Election Commission for successful completion of the world's largest election. The contribution of employees of several administrative departments and various institutions, as well as the security forces in successful conduct of the electoral process, is extremely praiseworthy. Nearly half of the MPs in the Lok Sabha have been elected first time. The election of 78 women MPs, which is the highest number in the history of the Lok Sabha, presents the picture of a new India. It is a matter of joy that the reflection of India's diversity is visible in this joint sitting. People of every age, hailing from villages and cities, belonging to every profession, are members of both the houses. Honorable members, the people of our country have given a very clear mandate in this election. After assessing the performance of the government during the first tenure, the people have given even stronger support for the second term. By doing so, the people of the country have given a mandate for continuing uninterrupted and at an accelerated pace of the journey of development which started in 2014. My government is committed to that every idea of nation building, foundation for which was laid in 2014 while fulfilling the basic needs of the countrymen. Now the government is moving forward towards realizing their aspirations of building a strong, safe, prosperous, and all-inclusive India. This journey is inspired by the basic spirit of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, or Sabka Viswas. This new India's vision is motivated by the noble thoughts of Sri Narayana Guru, Kerala's great spiritual figure, social reformer, and poet. Jati Vedam, Mata Dvesham, Yudum Illate, Sarvarum, Sodaratvena, Varunna, Matrukasthanam, Anit. That is, an ideal place where people live like brothers, free from the discrimination of caste and religion. That is the meaning of that great saying of Narayana Guru. 3 weeks ago, on 30th May, immediately after swearing in, the government has started working towards building a new India where equal opportunity to progress are available to every person. A new India where life of every person becomes better and self-esteem is enhanced, where brotherhood and harmony bind the people with each other, where the foundation built on our ideals and values becomes stronger, where the benefits of development reach every region and to the last person standing in the queue. Honorable members, today the country is enriched with the experience of a 72-year journey since independence. The nation is moving ahead only by learning from these experiences. All of us have to move ahead with the resolve to realize the idea of new India by the year 2022, when we celebrate the 75th anniversary of India's independence. Thus, in the new India, in the 75th year of independence, farmers' income will be doubled. Every poor will have a pakka roof over his head. Every poor will have access to clean fuel. Every poor will have electricity connection. No poor will be compelled to defecate in the open. Every poor will have access to medical facilities. Every village in the country will be connected by roads. River Ganga will flow uninterrupted and pollution-free. In collaboration with the states, India will be close to becoming a $5 trillion economy. We will be progressing towards joining world's third largest economy. And India will unfurl the tricolor in space entirely on the strength of indigenous resources. And we will provide leadership to global development with a new zeal and confidence. This year also marks the 70th year of adoption of our Indian Constitution. As a member of the Parliament, all of you have undertaken the oath of affirmation to discharge your duties with true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India. The Constitution is paramount to all of us. The chief architect of our Constitution, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, has said, quote, "We must hold fast to constitutional methods of achieving our social and economic objectives. Our Constitution provides guiding for ensuring social, economic, and political justice, as well as to securing liberty, equality of all citizens, and promote fraternity among all, assuring the dignity of the individual. I believe that all the members of the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, as parliamentarians, will make invaluable contribution in achieving the ideals of our Constitution while discharging your duties. In this way, you will be contributing effectively in ushering a new India. All of us will have to accord priority to our duties as public representatives and as citizens of our country. Only then we will be able to inspire countrymen to discharge their duties as citizens. My advice to all the members of Parliament is that you should always remember the fundamental mantra of Mahatma Gandhi. He has said that every decision of ours should be guided by its impact on the poorest, on the weakest person in the society. You must also remember the voter who, setting aside all his work and overcoming the difficulties, went to the polling station to cast his vote and discharge his responsibilities towards the nation. Your priority should be to fulfill his aspirations. I urge you all to dedicate yourselves in the task of building a new India and to discharge your duties with utmost sincerity over the next 5 years. I once again wish all the best for all of you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.